Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you are having a good day and that you know the Lord is with you wherever you might be scattered. Today we enter into John chapter 5 and we discover that Jesus is back in Jerusalem for another feast. We also learn that in Jerusalem there is a pool by the sheep gate, and at this pool all kinds of people would come and wait for the waters to be stirred. I should say all kinds of people who were ill, had disabilities of one sort or another. And when the waters were stirred, whoever was able to get into the water while it was stirred up, they would find themselves healed. A miracle would take place. And so lots of people were there just waiting, hoping that on their day at being at this pool, they would be able to be healed. Well, we meet a man who is there who has been an invalid for 38 years. I mean, that's basically being crippled for a lifetime. And so 38 years an invalid, and he's laying there by the pool, just hoping, waiting that maybe somehow he would be able to get in the pool and get healed if it's his day. Well, Jesus comes through, and Jesus sees the man. Jesus knows his condition, knows he's been in that condition for a long time. And Jesus comes up to him and starts talking to him. And Jesus has a question for the man. Do you want to be well? The man's response is that he has no one to help him get into the pool, and that somebody always is able to get in the pool ahead of him. And so he hasn't been able to get healed. Jesus responds to the man, rise, take up your mat, and walk. And immediately the man's legs are healed and he's able to stand up and he starts walking and carrying his mat around. Now, this is amazing, miraculous, no doubt. But I want to pause over Jesus' question. Do you want to be well? Do you want to be cured? And a lot of times when we hear that question, we almost add the word really to it. Do you really want to be well? Do you really want to be cured? I hear it in terms of a lot of coach speak, where coaches will ask their team, do you guys want to win? And the implication of the question is that the team's not working hard enough, not playing hard enough, not practicing hard enough, that the team needs to give a better effort. Do you want to win? Well, then start practicing like you want to win, start working like you want to win. But I don't think that's the best way to read this question that Jesus is asking. He doesn't say the word really. He just says, do you want to be well? And the man's answer is pretty interesting as well, that he starts telling Jesus why he isn't well, that he does not have the ability to get into the water by himself, and he doesn't have anybody there to help him get to the water. He's helpless and powerless. Jesus is asking him a question about who he is, kind of holding up a mirror to him, much as he held up a mirror to the woman at the well, go get your husband, much as he held up a mirror to Nicodemus, telling him that as well born as he was, he needed to be born again. Seems to be a trend that Jesus has, that whenever Jesus speaks to someone, one of the things he talks to them about is who they are. And they have to own their own story, they have to own their needs. And so here in asking the question, the man is having to own his inability, his powerlessness to be able to make himself well, to get himself into the pool, and that he's helpless, that he doesn't have anyone to help him get to the pool. And once he kind of owns this, then Jesus speaks those words. Take up your mat, rise, take up your mat and go. I mean, Jesus could have spoke the words theoretically without ever asking the man if he wanted to be well. So I think it was all about the man having to recognize, I really am powerless. And when that powerless condition, and he owns it, then he can hear the words. And then Jesus simply says, take up your mat, rise, take up your mat and go, walk. And immediately he's cured. and he gets up and he goes. So my main takeaway today, I guess twofold. One, the obvious one, that Jesus has the power to give new life. Jesus has the power to heal, the power to enable us to move about and walk and live again. So there's that obvious aspect. But the second is we really do need to own our own helplessness. That apart from Jesus, we really can't get ourselves through life, really can't move, really can't fulfill purpose, really can't fulfill mission, really can't live without Jesus. And so we have to kind of be like the man, whether we're crippled or not, and own our helplessness and own our powerlessness. And when we do that, then I think our ears might finally be open to hear the words of Jesus. Rise, take up your mat, walk. I have life for you. God bless. Have a great day. And be sure to own your powerlessness and your helplessness. God bless.